Okay, good evening. So today we're going to discuss the SBP paper 2 for the goal module. Okay, we are continuing our AdMed series. I think tomorrow we're going to do something else. I can't remember. But yeah, okay, let's continue our series today. So as always, I will only give you the guidance and the answer. You try to answer it on your own. Okay, so section A, so you have diagram 1 showing an arrow diagram functions H and G. So you have H which maps from A to B and then G which maps from B to C. Okay, you are given Hx equals to x plus 1 over 2. And then inverse G of x is x over 4 plus 5. Okay, so let's bear this in mind first. But actually, what we can know from this is the order of this. So H, because this is the function of H, okay, so we can say that Hs equals to 2. So Hs equals to 2, okay, because the object is S and the image is this one. Okay, so if we substitute the S over here, we will have S plus 1 over 2 equals to 2. You can find the value of S. Okay, you get the value of 3. Okay, now how about this one? Now, if you're given G inverse X, okay, let's take a look at this. This is G2 equals to T. Okay, and since we are given G inverse X, what we can do is we can switch these two apart and we can change it to the inverse. So I can say that inverse of T is equals to 2. And that will help me with this. Because the function that I have is already inverse. So saya letak T over 4 plus 5 equals to 2. Saya boleh cari T . Okay, so I get T equals to negative 12. Right? Then once you have this, okay, GHX, okay, so GHX, okay, is, okay, so you will have to definitely, you will have to inverse this, okay, so you have inverse of X equals to X over 4 plus 5. You have to convert this into GX, okay, and then after that you kubahkan, you composite the two functions, okay, to do GHX. Okay, so you put in the HX, then you put in the G, and then you should be able to get 2x minus 18. This one, there's no, I mean, there are other ways to do this, but one of the easiest ways is you inverse this. Okay, inverse the inverse function, you get the original function. Okay, so in case you've forgotten how to inverse, so I will usually put y equals to x over 4 plus 5, and then I will change it so that it becomes x equals to something. Okay, and then from the x, that's how I know that that is the inverse function of the original function. So if your original is inverse already, so you inverse the inverse, you get the normal one. Okay, so this is pretty straightforward. Okay, of course it tests you on whether you know how to read the inverse function, how to read the arrow diagram. Okay, so that's a very important skill. Okay, number 2 shows a right angle triangle PQR. Okay, everything is given over there, 4x, 12y, and then PS. Okay, so PS equals to 2 over 3 PR. Okay, remember to bring the PR across. So PS over PR equals to 2 over 3. So this gives us a better view. PS is 2, PR is 3, therefore RS is 1. Okay, I think that's this one. Okay, find QS in terms of Y. Okay, so QS, I mean, there are many ways, but I guess QS, it can be QP plus PS. Okay, you will obviously have to find PR first, and then after that, you find PS. Okay, so that's why this is 4 marks. So it's a few steps. Okay, this will be QP plus 2 over 3 PR. Okay, because PS is 2 over 3 PR, so you can find PR. PR is QP plus 2 over 3, and PR is PO, PR is PQ plus QR, PQ plus QR. Okay, and then you can go ahead and solve for the rest. You should be able to get this lah. Okay, now find the magnitude of QS if X, okay, this one is quite easy lah. If you have gotten this answer, okay, then all you need to do is just substitute 3 into X, okay, and then 2 into this one lah. So negative 4 over 3 times 3, okay, plus 8 times 2. Okay, each of these has to be squared because we want to find the magnitude, right? Okay, then you square root it lah. Okay, then after that you you sorry, okay, you give your answer in this form, or you can give your answer in decimal form. I think decimal form will not be such an issue also lah. It should be okay for you to do decimal form. Yeah. Okay, so don't forget to don't forget to QS correct lah. Don't forget to square the whole thing and then square root everything lah. Okay, because whenever you find magnitude, okay, finding a magnitude is like using the Pythagoras theorem lah. Okay, so even if you have already substituted the x inside, you still have to, you still have to square the whole thing and then find this one to find the magnitude. Okay, so you should be able to get the answer of 4 square root 21 lah. Okay, 4 square root 21. All right. That's number 2. Okay, number 3, given that cos A equals to T such that A is between 0 and 90. So this is only the first quadrant. So we're not interested in the second or the third quadrant. We're interested in the first quadrant expressed in terms of T. Now, before you go into all this, okay, don't forget that if cos A equals to T, you can actually form your own triangle already. Okay, so because it's actually T over 1, okay, so this is the angle of A. Cos A is T, that means cos is adjacent over hypotenuse. So this must be T, this must be 1, and this must be 1 minus T squared, square root lah. Okay, so then after that, all I have to do is to find cos A, sorry, cos half A. Yeah? Okay, so cos half A, if we use the cos squared A formula. No, not cos squared A, sorry. Cos 2A. Cos 2A actually equals to, okay, it'd be 2 cos squared A minus 1. By that definition, okay, this will mean that this will, if I use this, then this will be, if I divide all the angles by 2, what I will get is cos A equals to 2 cos squared A over 2, or half A, okay, minus 1. I'll still get the same, the relationship is still there. All I did is just to divide all the angles by half. Okay, and so from there, okay, so let me write this again. Cos A equals to 2 cos squared A over 2, okay, minus 1. And I want this value. Okay, I want this value. Okay, so if I pindah across, I'll get cos A minus 1 over 2 equals to cos squared half A lah. Okay, and since I know that cos A equals to T, so I can say that this is T minus 1 over 2 square root equals to cos half A, which is the answer that I want. Okay, T plus 1. Oh, sorry, T plus 1. Okay, T plus 1 over 2 equals to cos half A. Okay, so if anything, maybe one important thing to remember about the half angle, okay, there is no half angle formula that is given to you. So you will probably have to use this kind of weird things. Okay, use 2A and then you half it so that the 2a becomes a and the a becomes half a. Okay, it is an answering technique okay, that is very commonly used in trigonometry questions okay, especially when it comes to proving. So this one is a little bit special okay, but otherwise sine 2a, okay, so sine 2a b, sine 2a according to formula is 2 sine a cos a, and you already have the values of sine a and cos a from this triangle. Okay, so you just substitute in and you should be able to get this value. Okay, cos 3a on the other hand is also, actually there is a formula to this but you're obviously not required to know this. Okay, so it can be cos a plus 2a. You can do it this way. Okay, cos a plus 2a. And then what you will get is cos a cos 2a. Okay, this will be very long okay, cos a cos 2a, never mind, don't worry. Okay, minus sine a sine 2a. Okay, so you have cos a and sine a already Sine 2a you will get from here. Okay, and then cos 2a is the only one that you need to do Cos 2a you can take from here 2 cos squared a minus 1. Okay, so you slowly substitute and you should be able to get this 4t cubed minus 3t. Okay, so this is a pretty interesting question in which usually usually they will just ask you, they will just give you this, right? And then you're expected to form the triangle on your own. I think this is the most important skill. Okay, for any cos, sine, or tangent relation they give you, you should be able to form the 90-degree 90-degree angle, the right angle triangle, okay, and give me the 3 sides that are involved. I think that's a very important thing. Okay, for example, if let's say I give you sine theta equals to let's say 3 over 2. Oh no, cannot be 3 over 2, sorry, 2 over 3. Never mind, 3 over 5 contohnya. Okay, you should be able to immediately draw, oh, okay, if this is theta, this is 3, this is 5, so this is 4. You must be able to do this triangle very immediately from just this relation itself. Okay, so even if it is something as simple as sine theta equals to 1 over t. Okay, then you know, okay, this is, let's say this is theta, 1 must be here, t must be here. So this is what? T squared minus 1 square root. Okay, using Pythagoras theorem. So forming this triangle is a very important skill. Okay, because that will help you with a lot of things. From here, you can know the other 5 relations. You can know cos, tangent, secant, cosecant, cotangent. Okay, and you can do all the rest of this nonsense nonsense. Okay, you can do all the rest of this just by using this triangle. Okay, of course this question is a little bit special in a sense. Number one, the first thing they ask you is this cos half a, which there is no formula. You will have to do this method. Secondly, there's also a cos 3a, which also there's no formula given for you. Okay, so you will have to use this method. And this method means that you have to use 2 formulas at the same time. Okay, so it's a real, it is quite a challenging one, but it is not very difficult. Okay, especially if you know how to manipulate the trigonometric functions around. I think it's pretty easy. Okay. All right, Ichai Akmal saves RMP in the first month and his savings increase constantly by RMQ every subsequent month. He saves 280 in the 10th month and the total savings for 12 months is 2,520. This is obviously a arithmetic progressions question, okay, where our A is P, our D is Q. Okay, so in the 10th month, he saves 280. So T10 equals to 280. And then S12 equals to 2520. So you can actually form the 2 equations from there. T10 equals to 280. So our A is what? Our A is P, our D is Q, right? So P plus 9Q equals to 280 is our first one. I'm taking this from the formula Tn equals to A plus n minus 1d. So since t10, so my n minus 1 will be 9. Okay, P is my A and Q is my D. Okay, the second one is S12. So I'm taking it from the formula Sn equals to n over 2, 2A plus n minus 1D. Okay, so it says that S12 equals to 2520. Okay, so I can substitute it in. 12 divided by 2 is 6. Okay, 2P plus 11Q equals to 2520. This is my second equation. Solve both equations and you should be able to get P equals to 100 and Q equals to 20. Okay, so we find that, you know, most of the time arithmetic progressions, especially in paper 2, they kind of tend to lean towards doing a lot of simultaneous equations questions. Okay, so it's a good idea for you to practice that. Okay, Puan Ain saves 150 in the first month and her savings increases constantly by RM10. Okay, every subsequent month increases constantly. Whoa, that's interesting. Okay, so find the value of n when both of them have the same money in the nth month. Who is the both of them? That means Encik Akmal and Puan Ain. Oh, okay. Okay, so assuming that you already got P and Q lah. Okay, so that means first month is 100 and then he subsequently he's adds 20 ringgit every month lah. Okay, manakala Ain, okay, Ain is 150 and then every month she adds only 10 ringgit. Okay, so we have to make sure that the TN for Encik Akmal, okay, TN for Akmal is the same as Tn for Ain. Okay, because find the value when they both save the same amount of money in the nth month. So dia bukan cakap pasal jumlah dia cakap pasal bulan keberapa yang diorang ngam-ngam, oh sama pula yang kita saving ni bulan, begitu. Okay, and the good news is Ain dia sudah bagi tahu 150 and then add 10. So the A for Ain, okay, for Ain, the A is 150, the D is 10. Okay, so I can say that this is 150 plus n minus 1 times 10. Manakala for Akmal, if you've done A correctly, you get P 100, Q and 20. So this will be 100 plus n minus 1 times 20. Okay, and then you just fiddle around, you should be able to get the answer n equals to 6. Okay, but again, understanding this question is not asking for Sn. This question is asking for Tn. Okay, so it's a very important thing that we remember this lah. Okay. All right. Number 5, solve the following equations. 1 plus square root of x minus 1 equals to square root of 2x minus 1. Okay. As you can see, there are 2x answers here. And this is a 4-mark question. So you know that it's a slightly longer working. Okay. And so how will we do? 1 plus square root x minus 1 equals to square root 2x minus 1. The first thing we do is we square both sides. Okay, we square both sides. So when we square both sides, what happens is that this 2x minus 1, they akan hilang lah dia punya square. But this one, when we square this, okay, it becomes something else. Like this will become 1 plus 2, sorry. 1 plus, oh yeah, correct. 2x minus 1 plus x minus 1. Okay, 1 plus 2x minus 1 plus x minus 1. Okay, now let's settle this first. So 1 minus 1 hilang sudah lah. Dia akan jadi 2. Okay, square root of x minus 1. Okay, I'm going to bring the x across so it becomes a little bit easier. So it will be 2x minus x will be x and then minus 1. Okay, and then we have to square it again because the square root is still there. We cannot do it. We really cannot do anything much. So when we square everything again, Okay, ini akan jadi 4x minus 1, selesai. Ini akan jadi x squared minus 2x plus 1. Okay, and then you can solve lah. Okay, this is, after this boleh sudah ini. So when we have this kind of question, to solve the following equation, okay, what you need to do is, you need to square and square and square until the square root hilang. But when you square and square and square, you need to make sure that the square root, if it is standing alone, okay, kalau macam dia berdiri satu orang lah kan, okay, then you know it can, the square will resolve itself. So what you don't want to do is this, and I see this a lot happening now. Let's say I start from the sentence again. 1 plus square root x minus 1 equals to 2x minus 1. Then dia bawa ini pergi sebelah tau. 1 equals to 2x minus 1 minus x minus 1. Wow, this is a real big problem. Because when you square everything, this is a big problem, you know. Because you have to do this lompat, lompat, lompat. So it becomes very complicated. Okay, so try not to do these kind of things. Avoid this situation. If you want to square, okay, make sure that one of the squares, it can settle on its own. Because this one, when you square, the square root akan hilang. It doesn't have to times with another thing, you know. This one, yeah lah, have to times with another thing. No choice lah, kita tidak boleh pindah mana-mana. Okay. If you want to move the 1 across and you want to square, also can lah. You will get the same thing also lah. Okay, so it won't really be much of a problem. Okay, but whatever it is, avoid doing this. Okay, ini memang kita elakkan lah. We don't want to square and then both sides ada tolak lagi di antara. Then you know it's going to be very complicated lah. Okay, question B. Again, solve the following. Okay, square root of 4x plus 4. Sorry. Minus 2x plus 3 equals to 256. Okay. Now, the first thing that you need to notice is that there is the base 2 over here lah. Okay, and all these numbers ada kaitan dengan base 2. Okay, 2 to the power of 8. Okay, so 256 is 2 to the power 8. 4 is 2 to the power 2. So the first thing you want to do is convert all the numbers to power of, base 2. Okay, and the square root, remember that square root is equals to power of half. Okay, so we slowly convert. 4 becomes 2 to the power of 2. Okay, then you have the x plus 4. But the whole thing is power of half. Okay, minus 2x plus 3 equals to 2 to the power of 8. Okay, now we can slowly settle this. 2x, so we have 2x plus 8, and the whole thing have to times by half. So what do we get? Half times 2, 2 times x, this will be plus 4. Minus 2x plus 3 equals to 2 to the power of 8. Now, if you can come to this point, okay, I hope that you don't forget lah, that I always mention this. The law of indices always works both ways. We always remember a to the power m times a to the power n equals to a to the power m plus n. But we always forget that it also works the other way around. Right? So actually this can be 2 to the power of x times 2 to the power of 4 minus 2 to the power of x times 2 to the power of 3 equals to 2 to the power of 8. Now why do I do this? So that I can bring out the 2 to the power x. Saya boleh faktorkan ini dua keluar. Okay, and I will get 2 to the power x, and then I will have 2 to the power of 4 minus 2 to the power of 3 equals to 2 to the power of 8. Okay, and then after this you can solve on your own. Okay, but I want to emphasize this fact that the law of indices, law of surds, law of log is dua hala punya. Okay, it's not just a one-way thing lah. So if you know how to combine them, you must also know how to separate them. And when you separate them, most of the time, like in this case, it involves factorizing something out, something that is similar lah. Like in this case, both of the terms have 2 to the power of x. So we bring out the 2 to the power x, Then kita boleh selesaikan ini pakai calculator dan kira saja. Okay, and then you should be able to get the answer. Okay, so the answer will be x equals to 5. All right. Okay, number 6 is a no-brainer. I won't be showing you this, but the answer is x equals to -3, y equals to 0, and z equals to 5. Okay, this is a very common system of linear equations. Okay, 3 equations means you need to have 3 answers: one x, one y, one z. Okay, if it is a quadratic equation, if there's a quadratic equation involved, then there will be 2x and 2y answers. Okay, don't forget that. Okay, because very often we see students answer, then they always leave something out one, like, oh, saya sudah dapat 2 jawapan, habis lah. Then they forget that it's actually Z. Okay, things like this are very frustrating lah, but it's very sayang. Okay, so have that in mind. If it's a 3 equations, you need to have 3 answers. If it is 2 equations and one of it is a quadratic equation, you will have 4 answers: 2x and 2y. Okay, that's a very important thing. Okay, 7. Number right, diagram 3 shows the graph of y equals to x squared plus bx plus c, where b and c are constants. Okay, so first of all, find the value of b and c. So of course it's -6 and 5, that's the answer. But how do you do it is you have these 2 coordinates here. This is 1 and 0, this is 5 and 0. So substitute. Okay, substitute the points into this equation and settle and do simultaneous equations. Okay, you will get one is -6 and 5. Okay, and so when you get -6 and 5, okay, when you get -6 and 5, what happens is the equation now becomes y equals to x squared minus 6x plus 5. And this point over here becomes 5 and 0. Okay, that is also a very important thing. Sorry, 0 and 5. Oh dear. 0 and 5. Okay, that intersection, that y-intercept point, okay, is 0 and 5. Now, the minimum coordinate, the coordinate of the minimum point, minimum coordinate. Okay, what I think you should do, okay, rather than, okay, I know some of you are going to use -b over 2a, okay, some of you may use completing the square, okay, but I actually want you to notice that they are already given here and here for you. The two x-intercepts are already given to you. And if you remember, I taught you at one time that the x-intercepts are like your 2 ears. Okay, and no matter how far your 2 ears are, the minimum point or the maximum point is always in the middle of your 2 ears. Just like your nose is always in the middle of your 2 ears. Okay, so kalau sebelah adalah 1, if this is 1 and this is 5, then you know that the middle point, which is the minimum point, the x coordinate must be 3. No need to think one. 1 and 5 in the middle is 3. If it is 2 and 6 in the middle must be 4. If it is 0 and 6 in the middle must be 3.5. Okay, 3.5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 3.5. Okay, so 1 and 5, so in the middle is 3. So kau tahu sudah x coordinate kan? X coordinate-nya adalah 3, so you sub in 3 into here and you will be able to get the answer y equals to -4, and that is your minimum coordinate. Okay, 3 and -4. All right. Now, then the range of values where x is negative. Again, this one, very normally, when we think of range of values where x is negative, everybody will start thinking, oh, okay, b squared minus 4ac, oh, sorry, fx is less than 0. Then after, but actually, the graph has already shown you. The graph has already shown you that, oh, okay, bahagian ini yang negatif. And fx is negative. All the values of fx are negative at this region. So what is the range? The range of values of x will be 1 to 5 lah. Anything between 1 and 5 is where the fx is negative. That's why it's a 1 mark question. It's kamu satu kali tengok kau patut tahu. Okay, dia bukan mengira ini. The only kiraan I would say is this 4 mark question lah. Itu saja yang mengira itu. Yang lain semua kamu tengok dan kamu tahu sudah. Okay. The maximum value when the graph is reflected in the x-axis. Okay, kalau dia kena reflect, okay, if this whole graph is reflected, what will happen? Okay, yang bawah sini akan naik ke atas dan yang atas sini akan pergi ke bawah lah bahkan. So what becomes of the maximum value? The maximum value will be 4. That's it. Okay. So this is a very good question because it's a very, what we call the conceptual question. Your concept needs to be very strong in this matter. Okay, and I have shown you, I hope it helps, how to find the minimum coordinate, especially if you know what the two intercepts are. You don't really have to waste time doing, completing the square minus b over 2a. If you know what the two intercepts are, in the middle must be the minimum or the maximum coordinate. Okay, that's the way the mathematics works. Okay, so for example, if like this, if you know that this is 0 and this is 2, you know that in the middle here must be 1. Okay, because of the symmetry of this one. Okay, the symmetry of the quadratic graph. There must be symmetry. Okay, if you know that, over here is, let's say 3 and over here is 7. Okay, then you know that in the middle must be 5. Tak payah fikir. Okay, don't need to think one. It's just, okay lah, fikir sedikit lah. Just, okay, 3, 7. Lompat. 5 lah. Okay, so use that to help you if you don't know how to find the minimum or the maximum coordinate, especially if it is 2 marks. Okay, not worth it to complete the square or to, or to even use this to, yeah. Okay, so let's continue. We're actually halfway into the paper already. So fast. Good luck. Okay, diagram 4 shows straight lines PQ and RQ intersect at point Q. Okay, so you have this intersection point over there. Angle PQR is right angle. Okay, whenever you see coordinate geometry and right angle, you kind of need to remember that the M1, M2 equals to -1 has to come into play lah. Okay, so if you know one gradient, you can know the other gradient, which is right angle to it lah. Okay, so the straight line PQ is given as y equals to -2x plus 6. So this one, the gradient is -2. So you know that this one, the gradient will be 1 over 2 lah. No need to think already. Sorry, not to say no need to think lah, but you should know this lah. Okay. Yeah. And the coordinates of point R is 1, 1. So find the straight line of RQ. Okay, you have the gradient and you have the point, so you can find the straight line. Okay, y minus y1 equals to x, mx minus x1. Okay, and then the coordinates of point Q, since you have this one, okay, and you have this one, okay, assuming that this answer is correct, the point Q is known as the point of intersection. Intersection between the two lines. So if there's a point of intersection between two lines, what you need to know is y equals to y. So you have -2x plus 6 equals to half x plus half. Then you find the x coordinate and you find the y coordinate, and you should be able to get the value of point Q. Now look at the answer once again. It is a very strange answer, 11 over 5 and 8 over 5. So like I said, okay, the last time, don't be surprised if the answers are very weird looking. Okay, anggap sebagai lumrah kehidupan. Okay, dalam mengambil maths lah. Okay, the straight line RQ is extended to S. Okay, so let me rub off all this. Okay, the straight line RQ is extended to S such that what? RQ and QS is 2 to 3. So I'm assuming that it's going to be extended to here. Okay, and by this point, you already have point Q lah. Point Q adalah 11 over 5, 8 over 5. And then this is S over here. So RQ to QS is 2 and 3. So this is where you will have to use the lompat-lompat one lah. Okay, so I'm going to call this X and Y. So 11 over 5 will be equals to 3 times 1 plus 2 times X over 3 plus 2. Okay, the lompat-lompat punya formula. Okay, 3 times 1, 2 times X, and then 3 plus 2. Okay, equals to 11 over 5, which is coordinate Q. Okay, and you do the same thing for coordinate Y, and you get the coordinate of point S, which is 4 and 5 over 2. Okay, next, a point T moves such that its distance from point R is always 5 units. Okay, so that means TR is equals to 5 units. So if the locus is T, okay, find the equation of the locus of point T. Since this is a locus, so it is not a fixed point, so we will have to give it X and Y. And we know the coordinate of T. Sorry, we know the coordinate of R, sorry, R is 1, 1. Okay, so you have to use the distance formula lah. Okay, so X minus 1 squared plus Y minus 1 squared equals to 5. Square root. Okay, then you can solve this until you get this lah. Okay, so always remember lah, for locus question, whatever the locus is, that is the one that you must give the X and Y. Okay, so if the point T is the one that is moving, that is the locus. So T is the one that you must give X and Y. And then look at the other point. If the other point is point R, then you find the point R, then use the distance formula. Okay, most of the time, not most of the time, sorry, at your level, locus questions usually always involve the distance formula. Okay, actually I should say most of the time, because there are some instances where they don't. So most of the time it involves the distance formula. Okay, x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared, the whole thing square root. Sorry, square root. The whole thing square root. Okay, so that's the distance formula. So looking at this question, this is not too difficult a question lah. Okay, and actually so far the paper 2 questions have been quite not too bad lah, except for that trigonometry question just now. But this question seems to be better than the paper 1 lah. The paper 1, the paper 1 got that circle question which I still haven't figured out yet. Yeah, I'll let you know lah. Okay, question number 9 is a linear law question. Okay, so you are asked to draw x cubed and y squared. Okay, so plot x cubed and y squared. So when you plot everything, you should get something, a linearly increasing graph, okay, with intercept of about 4. Okay, about 4 lah. Okay, then of course, you want to use it to determine the value of P and Q. Okay, so obviously we have to change this lah. So Py, sorry, Py squared equals to Qx cubed plus 1. Wow, this is so straightforward. Wow, this is very straightforward. Okay, so you move the P across, you get y squared equals to Q over P x cubed plus 1 over P. So definitely Q over P will be equals to M, and 1 over P will be equals to C. So you can find the P and you can find the Q from there. You should be able to get this. Okay, P is equals to 0.25 and Q is about 0.2530. Wow, that's interesting. Okay. Yeah, wow, this is a very rare question, as in it's very straightforward. It's about, there's not really that much pindah-pindah yang kamu perlu. But usually linear law questions kan, always the pindah-pindah yang selalu bikin orang like, I give up lah. Tapi oh well. Okay, number 10. Diagram 5 shows a straight line y equals to 2x intersects the curve y equals to negative x squared plus 4x at points O and P. Okay, so again, now we have these intersecting points. Okay, the two lines are intersecting. Okay, so we can find the value of k. How do we find the value of k? We use y equals to y. 2x equals to negative x squared plus 4x. Okay, then you solve this, you will get, actually you will get two, no you will get two values of x lah. You'll get x equals to 0 and x equals to 2. Okay, so obviously we don't want 0 because 0 is not logical lah. So k must be equals to 2. Okay, but that's how we did. And again, the key point here is the word intersect. Okay, when you see intersecting lines or intersecting curve and straight line, you want to do y equals to y so that you can find the coordinate of x. Okay, so after you find k, this is equals to 2. How do I find the coordinate of q? Okay, coordinate of q is this curve where y equals to 0 again. Okay, so go ahead lah. 0 equals to negative x squared plus 4x. Okay, and you should be able to get the answer x equals to 4 lah. Okay, and you give the answer in coordinates because the question asks for coordinates. Okay, so be very careful about this lah. A is asking for the value of k. Of course, k is also a coordinate lah, but it's just asking for the value. B is asking for coordinate. So don't just give me q equals to 4. Definitely you will get wrong. Okay, the coordinate of q is 4 and 0. So always make sure if the question asks for coordinate, you give coordinate. If the question asks for value, you give value. Okay, the area of the shaded region B. Okay, this one. The area of the shaded region B will be the area under the graph, okay, from 0 to 2, okay, minus the area of the triangle. Okay, the only problem is I don't know what is the height of the triangle. Okay, the height of the triangle is very easy to find lah. If your x equals to 2, then your y is equals to 2 times 2 will be 4. So the height of the triangle is 4 lah. Okay, so this will be the integration from, the integration from 0 to 2. Okay, the integration of 0 to 2 of this one. Okay, negative x squared plus 4x dx. Okay, minus the area of triangle. Okay, then you get the answer 4/3. So you do the integration correctly, okay, and you find the area of triangle correctly. It is 1 mark each. Okay, and then after that, when you get the final answer, is the 3rd mark. Okay, now the volume generated in terms of pi when the shaded region A is revolved 360 about the x-axis. So volume generated about the x-axis means we want dx lah. Pi, that means this has to be y squared dx because we want it to be in the x-axis. We need the x coordinates. So A, this whole section of A over here, okay, this whole section of A over here is from 2 until what is this coordinate? 4. Okay, so we want 2 to 4 of y squared. Okay, what we don't have is y squared. We have only y. Y equals to negative x squared plus 4x. So y squared will be negative x squared plus 4x, the whole thing squared. Okay, so be a little bit careful with this lah. Okay, because what is this is going to happen is going to become something very big lah. Okay, okay, so do that and then don't forget to leave pi out of it. Okay, biarlah pi di luar saja. Okay, and you should be able to get 256/15 pi, which is the final answer. Okay, if you expand this correctly, this will be x squared. Sorry, x to the power of 4. Okay, x to the power of 4 minus 4x cubed minus 8x cubed plus 16x squared. Okay, this will be after you kembangkan ini, maka ini akan terjadi. So this is what you substitute in here. Okay, and then after you integrate, yes, you will get x to the power of 5. Don't worry, because after you gantikan the 2 and the 4, okay, the numbers will resolve itself by when you use calculator. So don't worry about it. Okay, the more important thing is remember that the function must be squared when you're doing volume. Okay, if you just area, it's just a normal function. Okay, but if it is volume, it'll be y squared dx or x squared dy, depending on where you want. Okay, since the question asks for x-axis, then we use dx. All right. Okay, let's see. Next one. This has to be the probability distributions question. Okay, survey carried out in the school, it is found that 1/3 of the students like mathematics. This is very sad. And there should be more students that like mathematics, not just 1/3 of the students. So sad. Okay, so this is, we assume this is our P lah. So Q is 2/3, the students that don't like mathematics. So if 10 students are chosen at random from school, find the probability that less than 3 students. Okay, less than 3 students means 3 is not included. Means we want the probability of 0 plus the probability of 1 plus the probability of 2. Okay, less than 3. Yeah? Okay, so my n is 10. Okay, these are my different R's. Okay, P and Q is given. Okay, so you add all 3 together, you get 0.2991. Okay, if there are 1,500 students in the school, calculate the mean and the standard deviation of the number of students who like mathematics. What? Okay, why? How there are 1,500 students in this school? So few. Okay. Okay. So if there are 1,500 students in this school, the mean, okay, so mean is n times p. Okay. And the standard deviation is n times p times q square root lah. Okay. This is our n. Okay, 1,500. Now our n has become a bigger number, not just 10, but it has become a bigger number, which is 1,500. Okay, so we find, but with our p and q is still the same. Whether it is 10 or 1,500, our p and q is still the same. So we just use the different n, which is 1,500, times with the p to get the mean. And then use the same n and the p times with the q and square root everything to get the standard deviation. So you should get these two answers, 518.26. So formula of mean and standard deviation given in the time exam? No, not given. I don't think it's given though. Let me double check. Let me double check. Yeah, mean and standard deviation are not given. They only, for probability distribution, they will only give you the NCR, that one. That's the only one they will give you. Even the Z score also they won't give you. Okay. So yeah, I think that's a good question. That means standard deviation is not given. This is the one that they will give us, the NCRP to the power of RQ to the power n minus RR. This one is given to count this one. But these two are not given. And the Z score formula, Z equals to X minus mu over sigma. This one also is not given. As far as I know lah, okay, unless I'm looking at the wrong paper. Let me check. Let me check another one. Yeah. They give you the Z score. Sorry, the Z score they give you. Okay. Z score they give you. This one is given, but this one is not given. Okay, so yeah, you might want to take note of that lah. Okay, it's not that difficult lah. NP and NPQ square root. Okay. Right, B, height of the players in the netball team is normally distributed, okay, with a mean of 170 cm and a standard deviation of 8. Okay, I want to remind all of you again now that sometimes the question will not give you standard deviation. Now they will give you the variance instead. Okay, you are expected to know the relationship between variance and standard deviation, which is just square root lah. Okay, square root of the variance is the standard deviation lah. But some questions are like this, very straightforward. They give you standard deviation, but some questions they will not. They will give you variance, but remember that this one is standard deviation. Okay, so you will have to square root the variance in order to get the standard deviation. Okay, find the probability of the height of the player is less than 165. Okay, so this is probability of x is less than 165. Okay, you just follow the process and you should be able to get 0.2660. Okay, I hope at this point I don't have to keep reminding, depending on how you learn this. Okay, but if you are my student, then you will know that I will teach the table method lah. Okay, which is this is x, this is z, this is the graph, and this is the probability lah. Okay, so you convert one by one by one by one. Okay, and you can use the same method for the second question. Given that 15% of the players, when you see a percentage in normal distribution or any probability distributions, convert it back into probability. How? By dividing 100. So the probability is 0.15. Okay, more than QCM. Okay, so you have 0.15, and now you want to know that is more lah. Okay, so more. Okay, so yeah, there's a very long story to this lah, right? If the probability is less and then it's more, apa itu? Which side of the graph is it on, right? Okay, so obviously, in this case, the z-score will be on this side lah. Okay, so more than yeah, correct. Because the probability is less than 0.5 and the question is asking for more. Okay, so the probability is less than 0.5 and it's asking for more, and it's on the right side, it's the positive value. Okay, only if they are in the same direction, right? I think. Kan, kalau dua-dua adalah less atau dua-dua adalah more, okay, then it is negative value. Tapi kalau dia berjangkauan, it's always positive value. I think so. Is that right? Am I right? Yeah, it sounds right lah. Okay, but this is the terbalik method. Okay, and one of the reasons why I always emphasize this question is because very adalah, okay, ada kalanya yang sometimes the second question is a little bit different lah, but most of the time we find it always the same one. Okay, it will always start off with a binomial distribution. Okay, they will ask you to find something and then find the other one, and sometimes got mean and standard deviation, and then the normal distribution is they will give you the x, find the probability, and then the second one is they give you the probability, find the x. Okay, always, it's very commonly asked lah. Okay, I'm not saying that, okay, guaranteed lah, this year your SPM, wow, puji Tuhan, okay, you come out in that order lah. If it does, then praise the Lord. But if it doesn't, at least you're prepared for it. Okay, you know that one question has to be, they will give you the x, find the p. Okay, and then the other question might be, they will give you the probability, find the x. Okay, which is this lah, find the value of q. Okay, so yeah, so get used to this question. It's a very easy question to answer lah. Okay, actually. All right, down to our last two questions. So this is the index number question. Table 2 shows the price indices for the year 2018 to 2020 and based on the year 2015. Oh, so 2 different years, but based on the same year, which are room rental, petrol, and food. Wow. Okay. So the monthly expenses on petrol for 2015 and 2020 are 150 ringgit and 210. Okay. So find the value of P. So this is quite given already lah. Okay, P equals to the price in 2020 over the price in 2015 times 100. You just have to substitute these two, you should be able to get 140. Okay, now assuming that this answer is correct, you put in 140. The monthly expenses for the petrol in the year 2018. So you will have to use this lah. Okay, because you only have 2015. Okay, so you use the same formula again, except that now you want 2018 punya price, and you have the value of 115 over here. Okay, then you should be able to get 172 ringgit and 50 cents. Okay, that's pretty expensive though for 1 month. 1 month 210 ringgit. Not sure whether that's expensive. I think it's expensive, but oh well. Okay, the composite index for the monthly expenses in the year 2018 based on the year 2015 is 116.8. Okay, composite index. And now we're talking about only these three, yeah, because the question say 2018 and 2015. Okay, so jangan dulu libatkan 2020. And the weightage given, okay, the weightage of the monthly expenses, petrol, rental, petrol, food is N31. So this is N, this is 3, this is 1. Okay. Wow, she spent the least on food. Okay, so find the value of N to the nearest integer. So we have the composite index, which is 116.8. Okay, so you can substitute this lah. Hold on. Okay, so you can substitute this. Okay, so you have 116.8 equals to, then you multiply, 124m plus 115 times 3 plus 108 times 1 over n plus 3 plus 1. Okay, pindah. Now, according to the answer, you will get an approximation lah. Kau tidak akan dapat ngam-ngam. Okay, so you approximate it to 2. Okay, and you should be able to get the answer lah. Okay, lastly, the corresponding monthly expenses in the year 2018, if the monthly expenses in 2050 is 1,500. Again, the original formula, Q 2018 over 2015 times 100 equals to, this time is the composite index, which is 116.8. Okay, so you can substitute 116.8 here. 2050 is 1,500, so you can find 2018. And we see this trend now always happening in this question. Then first they will ask you to count the weightage, and then the next question they will ask you to count the price based on the composite index. So don't be afraid to use the composite index to find the price, because composite index is also an index, but it's an index which, you know, mengambil kira lebih daripada satu bahagian lah, bukan satu bahagian saja. Okay, a normal index number is just one bahagian only. But composite index takes into account different aspects and the weightages involved. Okay, find the price index of the monthly expenses 2020 based on the year 2018. Ini mesti ada ini. So asalkan ada 3 tahun kan, mesti ada ini, you know, this one. Okay, so we're talking about food. Food is here, 108 and 116. So 2018 based on 2015 is 108. Okay, and then 2020 based on 2015 is 116. Okay, question is asking for 2020 based on 2018. So 2020 based on 2018 will be equals to 2020 over 2015 times 2015 over 2018. We use the chain rule again. Okay, so this one you can immediately put inside here lah, sebab dia cun-cun. Okay, but this one you will have to terbalik. So it'll be 1 over 108. So this will be 116 times 1 over 108. Now, because one of the values you have to terbalikkan, okay, when you count the price index, you will have to multiply by 100. Okay, because one of the values you have to terbalikkan. Sometimes it doesn't work that way. Sometimes you will find that, oh, saya tidak bayar terbalikkan pun. Okay, maybe both they give you and then, you know, you just put in together. In that case, then you have to divide by 100. Okay, sorry, this is the way I remember it lah. This is the way I remember it. I'm sure there's a logical explanation to this. But this is my shortcut way of remembering it. If one of the values I have to terbalikkan, the price index saya kena darab 100. But if both of the values saya tidak payah pun terbalikkan langsung, okay, then saya kena bahagi dengan 100. Okay? Yeah, so when you do that, you will get this answer 107.41. All right. One last question. Okay, and then we can call it a night. Well, very fast on this paper too. Maybe because there's not so many ridiculous questions like the paper one the other day. Right? Sounds logical. Okay, fine. If it's logical to you, go ahead. Okay, trapezium PQRS, PS is parallel to QR and QRS is an obtuse angle. Okay, so find the length of QS in cm. Okay, so since this is QS and there's the angle here and this here and this here, you can use the sine rule lah. Okay, this one is the thing lah. You use the sine rule, you should be able to get this. Okay, secondly, after you find QS, you find that QS equals to 23.44. Okay, I'm going to write down here 23.44. Now, after that, find the length of RS. Okay, RS is over here. This one. Now, we only have these two sides, but we don't have anything else. Okay, we don't have this one, except that we have two parallel lines. Okay, and when we have two parallel lines, we know that there is this sudut selang-seli lah, the zigzag angle, or the alternate angle. Okay, which means that this and, sorry, this and this angle and this angle is the same value. And can we find this angle? Yes, we can. 180 minus 31 minus 105, then you can find this angle. Okay, once you find this angle, you want to find this one, use the cos rule. Okay, use the cos rule, you will get RS equals to 19.91 cm. Okay, after that, determine the value of QRS. Now, there are many ways to do this. You can determine it using cos rule, you can determine it using sine rule also. Since you have this 23.44 over here, you can use this one using sine rule, except that, okay, use sine rule, okay, but remember, okay, remember that QRS is an obtuse angle. So when you have obtuse angle, what do? When you shift sine already, you need to minus 180. Okay, because the question very, very clearly states that it's an obtuse angle. That means the value of the angle cannot be less than 90 degrees. Okay, it must be more than 90. Okay, so our calculator is not that smart lah. They can tell you the normal angle, they can't tell you obtuse angle. So you will have to do the extra work, okay, to get this 125.13. So let the words obtuse angle be a very big clue to you lah. Okay. Thus, the straight line QP is extended such that SP equals to SP prime. Okay, so you extend until you get this one. Now, if there's two same lines, then you kind of know where this is heading lah. Okay, let me rub this off. Okay, you extend this until you get this line over here. Okay, until this one, SP prime over here. Okay, and this is also 12.5 cm. Okay, and what does this tell you? This tells you that this is an isosceles triangle. So if this is 105, I know that this is 75. If this is 75, I know that this is 75, and I know that this, yang banyak yang I know lah kan. 75 is 150, so this is 30 degrees. Okay, so there are many things that you can actually know just by this one sentence alone because of the fact that it is an isosceles triangle. Now calculate the area of SPP, which is this triangle. Okay, sorry, this triangle. Okay, boleh sudah itu. Because you have 12.5, you have 12.5, and you have the 30 degrees. Okay, so so the area will be 1 over 2 AB sine C. Okay, 1 over 2 AB sine C. All right. Okay, so in general, I think this paper two, okay, is a pretty standard and a pretty good paper lah. Okay, I would say that if you haven't done it now, okay, but of course, admits is still a long time away lah. If you haven't done it, take some time to do it. Okay, you can always watch this video again to help you. Yeah, with this guide, I will send this guide in the group as well. But definitely give this paper a try because this paper is definitely quite a standard paper. A lot of good questions are in here and a lot of stuff that will help you to remember the things that you have learned, in your 2+ 2+ years learning at maths. Okay.